Hi, my name's Brian Doerksen, and this is Philip Janz, and we're here to just tell you a little bit of the story behind the song Light the Fire Again, and probably more specifically to the arrangement on the Holy God version, because this song first came out in, what year was it, 93, 94?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And actually, just quickly, I wrote the story. Both Philip and I actually were raised in the Mennonite community, and now don't think horse and buggy and black clothing, okay? We sort of look, just like the Baptists. We were, but the Mennonite Brethren actually denomination has its roots in Russia from a renewal that happened in the late 1800s, where God's Spirit really reawakened the Mennonite people with their faith. And anyway, in 1993, I was invited to lead worship at what was called a Mennonite Renewal Conference in Ontario. And as I was praying for it, I was led to the book of Revelations and to the letter to the church of the Laodiceans and how they had forsaken their first love. And so I just thought, we need to sing about this. We need to come back to our first love and really the fire of that. And the words just started coming out, don't let my love grow cold. Anyway, I thought the song would be, done for the weekend and forgotten, but it's had a bit of sticking power, and so we decided to create a new arrangement.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing we decided to do? In the original key, it was done in the key of F, and we just decided to try something slightly different, so we did it in the key of F sharp. Now, of course, I can cheat because I've got this wonderful thing called, what do you call this thing?
Capo.
Oh yeah, capo. No, it's not called a capo over here. It's called a capo. But anyway, it's a shub right. Capo. And I put it on the second fret, and then I play like this E thing. And it's nice and simple and open. I'm just playing these four chords. Like, hey! And shortly into the arranging process, basically Philip arranged the song, but I had this kind of melody floating around in my head, this na 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 na. But I didn't know what instrument should play that melody. So, tell us about some of the instruments.
So what we did was, with this melody that Brian came up with, when Brian Doerksen was in, we, I was just looking at his whole plethora of
arsenal of guitars, mandolins,
and in the corner there was like a balalaika sitting in the corner. It's kind of like a is it not made in Russia? It's a Russian thing, is it not?
I think it is
Ukrainian.
I think it's either Russian or Ukrainian.
Well, anyways, and it's quite an instrument. It's a beautiful instrument. And T, of course, we call him affectionately T because there's two Brians in our band. So there's Brian and then there's T. And so I had him pull this thing out, and he just would take that melody and just play it on the balalaika. And I had him then basically double it with just a warm kind of a Gretsch electric guitar alongside with that. And I'm always looking for new ways to basically say the same thing. So tones, things that will evoke new imagery in our minds. I really like actually the two tones together that derive out of that.
Now there's a whole lot more than tones going on here, though. There's kind of some funky rhythmic things. Tell us a bit about maybe Phil Robertson creating the drum human loop, and then some of the other percussion sounds.
Yeah, so we had a drummer named Phil Robertson come in, and he's he's just a phenomenal drummer here in town. One of the top guys, and wonderful heart, and his timing is phenomenal. So especially for something like this, where I need that real kind of loop sound, and I need it to have a real tight component to it. And so basically, I thought, okay, well, let's take this intro section and really kind of, it's messy, it's powerful, and then in the verse part, I basically had him flip his snare off and move into a kind of human loop kind of component. Now, I've got another loop running alongside of it, but he's basically listening to the loop, and he's matching the feel, but creating a human aspect to it, and it really is it's a beautiful change. And then basically, as we go back into the intro section, he flips that thing back on and goes into a powerful snare thing. We also have there's a fella actually that lives just here in my town here, Mission,
British Columbia,
in the middle of nowhere, and this fella, his name is Boris. And I don't even know how to say his last name.
Sicon
Sichon.
Sichon.
I think, that sounds French to me. But in any case, he is from Russia originally. He's a wonderful guy, and went to school, actually University St. Petersburg, and has a long history. Played in the Russian symphony as well. Then in Israel for 6 years as well. Lives here and is also a world instrumentalist. Was trained as a percussionist. And he has an incredible arsenal of tricks.
An old VW van or some sort of van he pulled up with that was just full of stuff.
Hey, what do you want me to play? I've got and so he's got everything from a didgeridoo to Celtic bones to a Scottish snare drum to things. There was this one instrument he was playing at one point. It's just like this pipe. And it's just, I've never seen anything like before. And the sounds that came out of this pipe were just phenomenal, what he did. And I said, what is that thing called? And he says, it's called the Canadian Tire Special. Like, I didn't get it, right? He says, well, yeah, I just bought this tube out at Canadian Tire, and I made this thing. And it was so beautiful. So I didn't know what to call it.
Some people are so creative, I tell you.
Yeah,
So, but what is that? There's this clicking sound near the end of the song. What's that?
So what happens is at the end, towards the end of Light the Fire, we finish the song. Phil does this fill. Deccan. He's got these rocks, literally just 4 rocks, and he takes them and puts them in his hand, and he starts to go, and I'm just like freaking out, like how somebody can make rocks sound like music. So in that spot, you're going to hear Phil playing the drum thing, and you're going to hear this clicking thing going. Listen carefully on the CD.
Let my love grow cold. I'm calling out like the fire again. Let my vision die. I'm calling out like the fire again. Know my heart, my deeds. I'm calling out like the fire again. I need my father's discipline. I'm calling out like the fire again. I am here to buy gold, refined in the fire. Naked and poor, wretched and blind, I come. Clothe me in white, so I won't be ashamed. Lord, light the fire again. In the end, we repeat it. Clothe me in white, so I won't be ashamed. Clothe me in white, so I won't be ashamed. Clothe me in white, so I won't be ashamed. Lord, light the fire again,
Again,
and so on,
again,
and so on.
again.